We're going to have a super dynamite call today. I want to first of all thank Miss Ismail for jumping in and really introducing our guest speaker for the last 2 weeks. One, I was out traveling with my daughter, and I want to for stepping in and just being the leader who she is, and thanking her for all that. So thank you. Hey, I'd like to start off by thanking Miss Anna Inez out in Texas. Good morning. Mr. Gail Wiggins. Good morning. This morning. Good morning. Miss Natasha Ismail. Thank you, dear, for all you've done for all of us. Thank you so much for what you did last. We had a lot of guests on that call last night. We were expecting a lot of follow-up. Also, Miss Joyce Brewer. Thank you so much, dear, for being on the call this. How you doing? Miss Konohara over in Japan. All right. Wow. We'd like to also thank Mr. Brian Baker, Regional Director out of Las Vegas, Nevada, or we like to say Las Wages. Ms. Caroline Baker, thank you so much. Ms. Jones out of Crew with 157 points and counting. Look at it. She's tearing it up. Ms. Celia over in Woodland, California, thank you so much. Ms. Christina Trish, good morning. Ms. Christina Bliss, good morning. Wow, all this Christina's going on. I love it. Ms. Dominic Young, Nashville, Tennessee, one of our school teachers. Mr. Lance Kelly, sir, thank you so much. Mr. Payon in Japan, thank you, sir, for being on the call today. Kimberly Garcia, good morning, dear. Mr. Freddie Sherman, good morning. Miss Marcia Carter, good morning to you. Marie, good morning down there in San Diego area. Thank you so much. Mr. Regional Director, Mr. Marvin Carter, had a great conversation with you last night, so appreciate that. Let's head up to Oakland, where she is in blue outfit this morning. Miss Pat Robinson. Good morning, Pat Robinson. Miss Castro down in Phoenix, Arizona. Beautiful lady down there as well. Mr. Sergio down in Mexico area. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Pat and Frank Bowman up in Elk Grove, California. I've been missing you guys. What you guys been doing? All right. Glad having you back. Good seeing you too. All right. Mr. Robinson, part of the bakery organization. Thank you so much. Let's go to New York, where Queen V is on the call. Thank you, dear. Mr. Winston Herbert, good morning. Tracy Gilmore, part of the bakery organization. Good morning. Miss T. Hayes, good morning, young lady. She's faithful. Oh, I love it. Miss Zoe, part of the bakery organization. Good morning. Alvin Eves, good morning. Good morning. Brand new to the call. Thank you. Mr. Bill Bailey, good, happy to see you on there quite a bit now. Thank you. Mr. Chris McDowell, good morning, sir. Mr. Harrison Mills, good job you do. Miss Kimberly Ebley in Phoenix, thank you, dear. Miss Melissa Vaughn, where are you? There she is. There she is. All right. Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis, thank you so much, and Miss Eileen. Hey, I want to thank you too for thank you for sending that picture back in Nemo Sushi. Miss Eileen, myself, and you and Julian Lewis, along with some others, had lunch. It was 2015 down there in San Diego after the big meeting we did. So thank you for that picture. That was amazing, going back in history and seeing you guys and still look like teenagers. Let's go back to Oakland. Mr. Al Randolph, sir, how you doing? You started to get here on time now. I see that. Started to be on time. That's good for you. All right, yeah. Regional Director, this Pat Robinson's laughing. Miss Regional Director, Ms. Rose Guerrero King, and also Mr. Chris King, Regional Director out of Fresno, California. Thank you so much. And last and certainly not least, he had a birthday last week, Mr. Ed Navarro. Good morning, sir. Well, it's that time. We got a great call up, as you all know, and we want to thank this young man for taking time out of his schedule. I just want to thank him for just being a leader he is. He's an absolutely wonderful leader to work with. He's easy to work with. He is so open to help anybody's organization. He's a great husband. He is one of the go-tos. I was talking about the go-tos that the co-founders need. Well, not only that, he does such a great job. He's very patient. He's the Platinum Regional Vice President. He lives in Southern California. His business expanded all over the world. He's in several countries. He's a great. I spent some time with him, met his daughter in our trip down to the Bahamas. Without further ado, Mr. Dean Tarrolly. Can we give him a hand, please, everybody?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. There you are. There's that spot. He's in his spot.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I am in my spot, coffee in hand. We got some, I don't know, one of the gardeners. It literally sounds like they're taking a tree down. So you guys are going to have to bear with me on that. But good morning, everybody. So we continue, right? So first of all, I hope you guys don't get bored with this part, but when we start, this is just a reminder for all of you not to take these calls. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Mr. Thomas. Please, you guys, do not take his time, his mentorship, his training, his knowledge, his goodwill, his energy, his vision. Do not take those things for granted, you guys, because that's, you know, I tell people all the time that you could take the leadership out of ACN, I believe, the leadership in the field. And if corporate America could somehow talk the leaders in the field into going back into corporate America, there would be a line to get these people. Give them a corner office and everything else. That's exactly why they do ACN, so they don't have to have that type of lifestyle. But just know that the type of people that that Mr. Thomas is representative of, I just wouldn't take his time for granted. All the events and all the things that he has set up is really designed for you guys to be able to win. So, so Mr. Thomas, it's good to see you. I got a little bit of a message for you guys today. Kind of going back, this October was really designed, since I've done this a number of months with you guys. At the beginning of the month, when Al asked me to do this in October, and Julian, by the way, I know I owe you a phone call. I was thinking, why are there not? This is just to remind you guys, to get everybody in the right headspace for a second. Why are so many people not further along in ACN? Why? Why is that the case? Why? And by the way, Al, can you see me okay? I know I got some light coming from behind me. Are we good? Okay, cool. So let's just hang out for a minute. Let's just hang out and talk for a minute. Why are there so many people that are not further along in ACN? And one of the things that we've been discussing, and what that was kind of the motivation or the reasoning for my theme of these calls this month, is because people overcomplicate a simple business. And what does that mean? It means they make it way harder than it is. And how do they do that? They take simple things and make them complicated. So my entire message to you guys for the month of October has been, and is, we only do 3 things. And you guys, check this out. We only do 3 things, and only 2 things pay you. There's 3 things we do, and there's 2 things that pay you. That's it. There's 3 things we do, and there's 2 things that pay you. Now look, you guys, I'm not talking about learning 100 things. I'm talking about learning and mastering 3 things. Mastering 3 things. Okay, so as I had said last week, and I reconnected with Natasha for a second, just to review a couple things. One of the things that I said last week was this Michael Jordan quote, right? And Greg Provenzano brought it up. I'm sorry, Kobe Bryant quote, not Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant said, he said, you know, he was asked, what makes you so great? Why do you continue to push yourself? What makes you so great? And he said, word for word, I never get bored with the basics. And people get bored with the basics in ACN. They get bored with the getting customers, building a team, launching someone, PBZ, and it seems monotonous. But I'm telling you guys something. If you don't get bored with the basics, if you make the basics exciting for you, it's going to translate and become exciting for other people. You know, Larry Raskin, a legend in our industry, a legend in our company, what he used to say all the time was, master the mundane. Master the mundane, the things that feel like they are mundane. You master those things, right? So we covered this month, the first week was customer acquisition. Huge favor approach, rely on the relationship. And what did I say? I said, master a few services. You don't have to be a master of all of them, but get a couple of them down. So you know this, you know how it works. And you can figure out with Mr. Thomas what you should master depending on where you live. If you're in an electric market, whatever, you guys can figure that out, right? The second thing we talked about was team building or recruiting. And I think we kind of covered it, right? Like we covered, look, recruiting is a compliment. A recruiting isn't trying to get someone in. Recruiting is offering to someone. You know, you trying to get me into something. By the way, if somebody says that to you, they A, are not the right person, or B, you got to look at how you talk to them. Right? Like, here's the thing, you guys, if you have to push too hard or sell ACN too hard, I want you to understand it feels not real. If you have to put, look, think of it like this. How many Rolls-Royce ads do you see on TV? They don't need them. They don't need them. That's not the audience they're looking for. They don't need them, right? I bet every one of you in the city you live in, it doesn't matter where it is. I shouldn't say every one of you, but I would say the majority of you, because I don't know most of you. I mean, I've gotten to know you on Zoom, but a little bit, or you've gotten to know me. But think about this for a second. This is an important point. In the city you live in, I would be willing to bet that every single one of you, one of your 3 favorite restaurants in the city you live in, I've never heard of. Because it's a local thing there. We got to go to Joe's. What's Joe's? I never heard of it. Right? Like it's something that you know. You don't need. They don't need to advertise. Right? There's a line. You know, in Los Angeles, there's this place on La Brea that some of you may have heard of if you've ever been to Los Angeles called Pink's Hot Dogs. They don't advertise, but every time you go by there, before COVID, there's a line morning, noon, and night at a hot dog stand. Why? I don't know, but it's word of mouth. So the second thing that we covered in recruiting was this idea of offering, this idea of fishing, not hunting, because a hunted animal runs for its life. And if you know what you have, you don't need to push and you don't need to oversell. And then the third thing we talked about the third week, we talked about promoting events. And the events, here's the thing about events. Events are the great equalizer in ACN. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so let's say you have someone that's really interested in looking at ACN and you can promote them to an overview that Al Thomas is doing. Senior Vice President, Circle Champions member. Okay. And I am a new person and I can invite my person to hear Senior Vice President, Circle Champions member Al Thomas present the information. Guess what? You and I got the same deal. We have the same access. The events level the playing field. So what do you need to get good at? You and I need to get good at promoting an event, promoting a training, promoting an overview, promoting a leadership, promoting you guys. I said this last week. Jim Rohn said this. Promotion pays staggering money. Okay. So where does that take us today? So you go, oh crap. There's 5 weeks in October. We've done customers, we've done recruiting, we've done events. Uh-oh, what do we do now? Well, here's where it gets good. Here's where it gets good. So if you understand the 3 things we do, getting customers, building teams, and promoting events, and you understand that 2 out of those 3 things pay you, acquiring a customer, helping somebody on your team acquire a customer, recruiting someone or helping someone in that recruiting process, right? We talked about that last week. So now what does that leave us? And this is a big deal. Where does that leave us? Where does that leave you? So let's get it clear in our heads, you guys. This is going to feel like ACN 101, but I'm telling you, this is the stuff that the senior vice presidents have mastered to the point where they don't even have to think about it. It's wired into who they are. 3 things we do. That's what we've covered this month. The first week was getting customers, how to do it. The second week was team building, how to do it. The third week was how to promote events. That brings us to my 4th week of speaking with you guys. So what in the world are we going to talk about? Because we've covered the 3 things that I said. Well, here's what we're going to talk about. Leadership. And you need to know this. The world is starving for leadership. I don't care what your area of work is in ACN. So the first thing in a leadership conversation is this. Tony Kupas has talked a lot about this lately, is you can be a participant or you can be a leader in ACN. And the only difference between the two, and I want you guys to get this, the only difference between the two is this. Leaders have a little more control. And I got to thinking about what he was saying about that. You can be a participant in ACN, you can be a leader, and they're both great. And by the way, you can become a regional vice president as a participant. Isn't that crazy? You can become a regional vice president one day as a participant. What you are giving up, doing it that way, is some control. And here's the thing that I got to think, because I really thought about this. I'm like, why do people sign up in ACN? Why? And I think one of the main reasons, and Mr. Thomas, you could chime in if you have a thought on this, right? It's not just me talking at you guys. Why do people sign up in ACN? They want some control back. So if there's a position in ACN that's available that allows me to get control back in my life, to get control with my time, control with my finances, control with my schedule, control with how my day goes, how I run my day, that's the position I want. How about you? I want to move. And by the way, they're both great. It's not a judgment call. It's just control for me was important, not to control others, but to have a sense of control of time, of finances, of schedule, of who I spend time with, when and where. How about you? I mean, that's why I signed up. This was a freedom conversation. So how do you get to that position? Well, there's a few things. Number one is this, and you guys, this is super cliche, but I'm gonna tell you this right now because I believe this wholeheartedly. So please write this down. I don't care how many times you've written it down. I want you to write it down so I know in your notes that you have this from me. Here's what it is. Ready? Leaders are readers. What are you reading? See, here's the thing. Outside of ACN, customers, team, events, what are you doing to bring your game up? What are you doing to get more skilled at conversations? Look, I'm not telling you guys, please do not get this twisted. I am not telling you, this is just my opinion. And again, I defer to Al, you're on his team. Al, is that noise just killing us? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? All right, thanks. Okay, so you guys, please get this. Please get this. Listen, when I say leaders are readers, and I want you guys reading and building your book of knowledge, right? Here's what I know. I know that the information is out there from the people hang on, let me say this again. The information is out there for the people who seek it. The information is out there for the people who seek it. You just got to get good at seeking the knowledge. Now, what I would do is start to build my library. I would start to build my library. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you guys have never read, and for those of you who have not read your first year of network marketing, I'm telling you to go get it. Now, there's things that are different back then than today. And you're going to read them and go, oh man, ACN kind of teaches the opposite. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb. That's okay. But the basics, the understanding, you guys, when I started reading books on network marketing, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I'm reading what I'm learning from Mr. Thomas. I started freaking out. The information is available for those who seek it. The problem is two things. Most people don't seek it, or most people have not been directed on where to go and what to do. Let me say that again. There's two issues with that. Number one, most people don't seek it. And number two, most people aren't directed the proper way on what they should be reading, what they should be doing. You guys, please, and again, I defer to Al on this, but I'm telling you, this kind of gets me going a little bit. I have people that I know that are professional training and meeting attenders. please, I would just try to pick the right words, Al. I would caution you against that. I would just caution you against that. You have a leader in Mr. Thomas that has all the things that you need to be set up, and the occasional guest speaker like he has on these daily things. So he knows that you're getting a message that is consistent with what he believes works with people who he trusts, to get across a message and give you a format to be able to advance your lives, advance your skill set, advance your business. That's the deal here. But I can tell you this, I know Mr. Thomas, and I know he doesn't have you listening to 9,000 different regional directors and RVPs from all over the place. It's not possible to keep a consistent message with that much input. And now here's what happens. Guess what happens, you guys? If you guys remember anything from the way I've trained you guys all year long, everything is going to come full circle. So what did I say in the beginning of this month? The idea is to keep this simple in the basics. You don't need 9,000 different inputs. I was on this training, and I was on that training, and I was on this leadership, and I was on this and that. And it confuses the brain. And then what happens? A confused brain or a confused message provides no results because you don't know what to do. So let's keep this thing simple. So if you want to talk about going back to the basics, here's what I would do for sure. There's a couple of them that I would read for sure. Number one, and by the way, not an audiobook. Should you have an audiobook? Yes. Should that be your only version of that information? Absolutely not. And by the way, when people ask me if they can borrow one of my books, guess what my answer is? Absolutely not. Go get your own book, make your own notes, highlight your own thing. You're not getting my book. Go get your book. What are we in third grade? Get your own freaking book. This is crazy, right? How seriously are you treating your business? Okay, so now let's talk about it. Number one, first year of network marketing. Just remember, you guys, as you're becoming a leader, you have to know the industry that you're in. And there's people that have come before you who have made the mistakes that will prevent you from making the mistakes because you can learn from their mistakes. Now, like I said, do you want to follow everything in your first year of network marketing? Not necessarily. And like I said, the differences between what we do and what they teach will stand out to you, and you'll recognize them right away, especially being on Mr. Thomas's call. The second book that I would highly recommend is Go Pro, right? I would have that book. There you go. But by the way, call's over. I mean, we could end the call right now. I brought up a book and Mr. Thomas had it within arm's reach. That's because we operate the same way. If the knowledge is available and accessible, you guys get this, check this out. If the knowledge is available and accessible to you, why you don't have it, that's on you. That is not on Al. That is not on me. That's on you. Show of hands, does that make sense? Does that make sense, you guys? If it's accessible to you and available to you, get it and use it. Now, another book that I like that I think is phenomenal is called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And I think it's a remarkable book. The messages that we tell ourselves, and there we go. Thank you, Natasha. There you have it. I know I've given some of these before in other trainings. So there's 3, and the 4th one that I love. Let me think about. Shoot, I have so many to give you guys right now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there she is. She has Go Pro, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Okay. So that's 3 for now. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But let me tell you something. If you get those 3 down here, okay, I'll give you one more. You want one more? Okay, one more is The Greatest Networker in the World. The Greatest Networker in the World, John Milton Fogg. And the book starts with this, you guys. Check this out. Check this out. After you write it down, I want you to look at your cameras. Here's where the book starts. So I was gonna wait for a second. After you write it down, so I gave you, there it is. The Greatest Networker in the World, John Milton Fogg. I have by the way, Mr. Thomas, I have the exact same version, the green cover. So now check this out, you guys. Watch this. Ready? Here's why I love that book so much. Here's how the book starts. Ready? Here goes. It starts by the main character in the book saying this: I'm going to my last opportunity meeting. That's where it starts. And I'm telling you, you should read it. And it's a fast read and it's great. and it's great. Okay, so why did I start this conversation today about reviewing what we've covered and now on to leadership? Here's why. It is very difficult to lead someone through something you haven't been through. It is very difficult to lead someone through something you haven't been through. So one of the things about becoming a leader is, and this is, I hope this makes sense to you. Becoming a leader, A, it's a decision, but B, it's action. You have to start piling up experiences. You have to start piling up experiences. What do those mean? It means helping someone get to an event and going through the challenges of booking a plane ticket and hotel room and 20 people in a room, and don't worry about it, and let's figure out a solution for the kids. You have to go through that. Becoming a leader means you have to go through the questions and the objections that come after someone sees the information. Well, I don't know, you guys, isn't it funny how they have a bunch of them? Well, first it's this, and then it's that, and then does it work? And my friends have done things, and da 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 da. And by the way, when you work your way through all the way to really what the issue is, they don't have 199, or they don't have, and now we're getting to the real issue. Well, guess what, you guys, you have to accept this, that you have to go through this a number of times to build up the experiences in becoming a leader. How do you do that? You just do it. Now, one of the great things about leadership that I just spoke about was the information is out there for those who seek it. Okay? So I'm going to give you a big part of leadership, right? It's a big part of leadership. So check this out. Here it goes. Copy what the leaders do. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to tell you this. Oh, I almost said a bad word. You guys get me all riled up on Thursday. You don't even say anything and you guys get me riled up. If I knew that Mr. Thomas was doing a private business Zoom, here's what I would do. I would ask him if I could watch. I would ask him if I could jump on and just watch. I won't say a word. I can even change the name on my screen. Would you please allow me to watch you take everyone from start to finish on a PBZ? And now you're getting a real life, it doesn't matter if people sign up or not. You know people are going to be interested. Mr. Thomas doing the overview, people are going to be interested. But you want to know what leaders do? Leaders always seek knowledge. They always seek experiences. So there's your personal experience, and then there's living through the experience of another leader. Well, how do you make this move faster through the comp plan? Customer qualified, executive team leader, regional director, regional vice president, senior vice president. How do you do it faster? Don't rely only on your own experiences. Use the experiences of others. How do you do that? You got to be present in things that they do. Be present in things that they do. Now, there might be an occasion where Mr. Thomas says, look, you know what? I'm not going to have the opportunity today to have you be on this one, but I'm going to be doing another one on this time, and that one you can be on. And you have to respect that person based on the circumstances that they find themselves in for whoever it is that they're presenting to. So we're going through super, super, super basic stuff the first 3 weeks of this month in building ACN, acquiring customers, building a team, promoting events. Now we're getting into leadership. But even the things that I've talked to you guys so far about in leadership are very basic. Get some books, start to gain the knowledge. Guess what the knowledge does? The knowledge gives you belief. Guess what the belief does? The belief puts you into action. Guess what action does? Action puts your business in motion, and you get your business in motion. Now you can start playing the numbers game. I mean, you guys, there's people I deal with that they spend so much time talking about this, that, and the other. If they'd spend half the time, effort, and energy on doing the 3 basic things instead of worrying about all the freaking garbage that doesn't advance your business, who cares? Get back to the basics. Get yourself, GPS yourself back onto the road. You're off road right now. you're off road in the wrong vehicle. Get back on the road. How do you do that? Go back to the 3 basic things. So there's another key part of leadership. By the way, is this helpful so far? Okay, cool. Here's another part of leadership, right? Sergio, you're right. I just saw your message in the chat. Repeat and play, repeat. You know, play and rewind, play and rewind, play and rewind, play and rewind. Right? I know that all the leaders that Mr. Thomas has on these calls, I know that they record them. And when they record them, you guys, they're accessible to you. I mean, they're accessible to you. I mean, crap, we used to have to jump on a plane and go see people on stage face to face. Right now we can do it just like this. And I'm not referring to myself. I'm talking about Mr. Thomas and the other leaders he has training. Okay, so now here's the thing. I think there's another thing that happens being a participant and being a leader. With a leader, the reward is you get control. The second thing is, oh my God, we could I could go into some stuff right now. Okay, all right. So the second thing is this. With great opportunity comes great responsibility. With great opportunity comes great responsibility. Let's talk about that. Man, Mr. Thomas, he's got this huge business. He's got leaders all over the world. And da, 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 da. Yeah, but guess what he's done? He's taken responsibility for creating an environment and teaching the right things so the right types of people advance in this business. So the message is consistent. This does not happen by accident. If you guys think that these 9 o'clock calls that you guys do every day and the presentations and the trainings and stuff happens because he took a schedule, threw it against the wall and see what works, you're tripping. With great opportunity comes great responsibility. So the question that I'm challenging all of you to ask yourselves is, with what level of responsibility are you treating your ACN business? So if you want to take it deeper, if ACN is a vehicle to help you get your dreams and your time back, with what level of responsibility are you treating your dreams and goals? See, these are the things that leaders, they tie these things together quickly. They tie these things together quickly. So another part of becoming a leader, above and beyond the basics, is this. ACN clearly is a business of duplication. It is a business of duplication. It is a business of being able to duplicate effort, energy, leadership, ability, skill, so you're not the only one who has it. The question that you have to ask yourself as somebody who wants to become a leader one day in ACN, or someone who wants to hit these positions, even as a participant, is what you're doing worthy of duplication? So I'm going to ask you guys to all write this down. Am I doing business that is worthy of duplication? And what does business mean? It means the 3 things we've talked about. I'm just trying to shorten the phrase for you. Am I doing business worthy of duplication? By the way, you guys, if you want to know how to go regional vice president one day or higher, please read that every day. Because if there's 10 of you and you didn't do anything that day, that means that none of the 10 of the people on your team probably did anything. But if you have 10 people on your team and you signed up 5 customers today, I'm letting you know there's a very reasonable chance that a whole bunch of people on your team did the same thing and 50 customers hit the books in a day. Give me a break. Give me a break. And by the way, guess what? And check this out. Check this out. Let's say you do sign up 10 customers and none of your team members sign up 10 customers, but you're the one that did. Well, guess what? You're the leader. Congratulations. You're acting like a leader. You're not waiting for people, but you're setting the proper example. So at the end of a long day, you've done some ACN work, you've done some family time, you've done your traditional job, you've done that stuff. And at the end of a long day, you pick up your book and you read 10 pages of Greatest Networker in the World. You read 10 pages of of Go Pro. You read 10 pages of your first year network marketing. You read 10 pages at the end of the day. Do you guys understand what you're setting yourself up to do? You're setting yourself up to lead. You're setting yourself up to build. You're setting yourself up to be a coach and a sponsor and a mentor and a teacher for someone that you haven't even met yet, because you're doing the right things daily. See, it's one thing to do the right thing. It's another thing to do the right thing daily. So now check this out. This is crazy. To me, it is. So I had a leadership call last night, and here's one of the parts of leadership that I want you guys to understand and really understand it on a kind of a high level. Okay, here goes. Wait, 9:36. Let me think about this. Mr. Thomas, am I good? You know, man, you can always give me the signal and okay, cool.
Good, you're good.
All right, sir. So check this out, you guys. I'm going to say something to you right now that that in my opinion, leaders don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about. I'm going to share something with you right now that people who are newer, and I don't know how new some of the people are on this call, they may not understand exactly, but you will by the time I'm done. So here's what it is. Leaders in our business and in our industry and in this group, your leader, here's what leaders understand, and write this down. Delayed gratification. They understand delayed gratification. Now, let me dive into this for a second. For those of you that are newer, or for those of you that I'm tripping you out right now, that does not mean you can't get paid today. Delayed gratification means that as a leader, you are investing time, effort, energy into building something properly. We're taking time, effort, and energy and developing people properly. Right? So I am the most amateur person on the Bible, but I know it does say this, and ironically, I read it this morning. Right? A house with a good foundation will weather a storm. A house with a weak foundation will fall apart. A business with a great foundation will weather storms. A business with a weak foundation will not. We want a foundation of really strong leadership. In order to do that, you have to put time in with people, and you have to expect and here. In fact, you guys write these 3 words down: understand, accept, and embrace delayed gratification. Understand, accept, and embrace delayed gratification. Well, I've seen these other people and they're regional director in a year, and I've been doing this for 2 years and I'm not a regional director yet. So what? You just haven't developed to the point where you should be a regional director yet. You can change it like that. You can change that with a decision. And guess what happens? You start reading, you start getting more knowledge, you start plugging in, you start listening in on other calls, you start watching people doing presentations, you start listening to the questions and answers that they go through, the people that are looking at the business. You start to gain more confidence. You start to gain more confidence, you're going to start doing more. As you start doing more, now you start playing the numbers game in the 3 basic things that we do: getting customers, building teams, promoting events. But you must understand, accept, and embrace delayed gratification. You guys, if this was only about the money being made today, guess what? You'd have a job. You'd have a job because they pay you by the hour. That makes sense. hear that that's not what this is. Now you can get paid today, but we're talking about building something that will build without you. So check this out. Understand delayed gratification. What does that mean? That means, you guys, understanding it simply means that the seeds that you're planting and the work that you're doing and the ground that you're tilling and the water that you're putting on and the sunlight that hits and the cloudy days that help, that those things are all part of your ACN business. Do you guys realize that if you stand outside and you watch the grass grow, you'll never see it move? Like if you just stand there and stare at it, you're never going to see it move. But I'll tell you this, come back in 2 weeks. Like, oh my God, what the hell happened? It grows. It happens in its own time. But you know what's consistent? All the elements every single day. So you have to understand that part of delayed gratification. The second thing is you have to accept it. You just have to accept the fact that there's an element of this in becoming a leader. You have to understand that you guys, your dreams and goals in ACN lie on the other side of understanding, accepting, and embracing delayed gratification, and to do things consistently through that window of time. What do you have to do consistently? 3 basic things. What are they? Get customers, build teams, promote the events. Oh, Natasha just did the mic drop. Thanks. But you guys, that's the truth. That's my opinion. So when you start to accept delayed gratification and you go, you know what? This is crazy. I have an executive team leader on my team. I'm doing the presentation. I'm answering the questions, but my executive team leader is going to make $200 this week. Is your person going to be excited? Your person is going to be fired up because you understand delayed gratification. By the way, I'll tell you this right now, and I don't want to speak for Mr. Thomas, but if anybody ever talks to me about being cut off and not making any money on their team, I am the wrong person for you to be working with. I will say it one time and I'll clarify it with them. Listen, the greatest thing that can happen in this business is you have people on your team getting paid. Get them paid. Yours is coming. Get them promoted. Yours is coming. I mean, come on. If someone doesn't understand that, then we just have to have a little more of maybe a private conversation, right? So delayed gratification, you have to understand it. You have to accept it. Now, here's the biggie. Here's the big one. You got to embrace it. You got to embrace the fact that people on your team are getting promoted and paid. Now think about this, folks. What kind of reflection, you guys, just take a second here. You don't have to write this down. So check this out. When I say embrace delayed gratification, check this out. How would you feel right now? And I don't mean to make this sound like some silly thing. I want you to really hear the words I'm saying. How would you feel right now if you knew for a fact by the end of the day today, you had 5 people promoted to executive team leader? You got 5 alerts that 5 people on your team got promoted to executive team leader. How would you feel? Do you realize that comes from embracing your delayed gratification for you? Delayed gratification for you and your dreams and your goals. Does that mean not go after your goals? Absolutely not. That means the philosophy of this business and this industry is to put other people's ahead of yours. Yours is coming. Should you be going after yours? Look, you guys, half the conversations that I've had with you are talking about your dreams and goals and going after this and building it properly. But understand the only way that can happen is by servicing the other people and helping them get theirs. Delayed gratification. Why do people get on stage and they're weeping when they become RVPs, or they can't keep the tears from coming? Because you know what? This was delayed. Like this did not happen overnight. Like you guys have heard me say this. You can have a meal at 7-Eleven. It's probably not going to be that great, but you get it right away. There's no delayed gratification. That's instant gratification. But you put a chef in a kitchen and you're lucky enough to be around that kitchen, you're going to have to wait for a minute. Your jaws are going to start hurting because your mouth is salivating because you can smell the kitchen. But when you get to that meal, that was some delayed gratification. But how was that meal? Oh my God. You're bragging about it. You're taking pictures about it. You're posting it, right, Brian Baker? I mean, you know what I'm talking about? Understand, accept, and embrace delayed gratification. And if you do that and you develop yourself into the leader that would be worthy of following, you will have people follow you. And just remember this. and I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Thomas. As you develop into a leader and you do have a team following you, you serve them. Serve your team. Don't get those roles twisted. You have to serve your team. You put other people ahead of yourself, yours is coming. You put other people's dreams and goals, yours are coming. And when you do that, and if you do it for a long enough period of time, here's what will happen. Mark my words. The computer will promote you. The computer will promote you because you have become the leader and you have mastered 3 basic things: acquiring customers, building teams of people, promoting the events. What you do outside of your 9 to 5 in ACN, what you do outside of acquiring customers, building a team, and promoting events, with the books you read, the leaderships you attend, what you do following the leadership of Mr. Thomas, that will shorten the time frame. That will shorten the time frame to the positions that you are working to hit. And you guys, if you don't have one of those 3 books, I would tell you start with your first year of network marketing and start building your knowledge. Start building your knowledge base. But that's what I wanted to share today, Mr. Thomas. I hope it was helpful. I hope maybe we found some people that see themselves and want to maybe take their game to another level. And thanks, Natasha. And yeah, this was on my mind. This was once you understand the basics, now it's about developing oneself into a leader if they choose to. And just know that, you guys, if that's not you, there's plenty of leaders on this call that will help you. Just remember where the control lies. There's just a little more control with the people who choose to be a leader instead of just a participant, but they're both great. They're both necessary. They're both appreciated. And we're grateful for all of them. And the greatest thing about ACN is you get to choose. You get to choose which one. So Mr. Thomas, appreciate you, sir. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you so much. You know what? You hit the nail on the head. We talked about customers and people getting blocked. I just spoke on that yesterday. One guy got blocked, would not put that customer because the other person, the other ETL would have got to 50. And I say, how small-minded. Look, I'm not into it for the 50. I'm into it for the long-term residual income. I said, now think about that. What's more important, the $50 check of a bonus or getting paid for 96 months on the residuals? Hello, folks. I'm so glad you said that, Mr. Dean Tarrolly. It's almost like we were passing notes. Everybody, can we give Mr. Dean Tarrolly a hand for the lessons today, the learning today? First week was customers. Second week was team building. Third week was promoting events. And today was about leadership. You know, I want to end it by saying this on the back end of what he says. The reason why you never see Lamborghini, watch this, Bentley or Rolls Royce. I'll say it again. Lamborghini, Bentley, or Rolls Royce. The reason why they never advertise is this. The people that drive those vehicles do not sit in front of TV sets. They're out building a business. They're business owners. Hello, hello. They're business owners. They don't have time for TVs. That's why they don't advertise, because they know their clientele don't watch TV. What does that tell you? How you doing? Anyway, thank you so much. Let's show Mr. Dean Tarrolly a little more love. Come on, a little more love, a little more love. Wow,
Appreciate you guys.
wow. One more Thursday. We've got him back one more week. We've got one more week. There you go, Miss Kathleen Williams. One more week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Dean.